మాతాజీ అందరినీ మ్యూట్. మాతాజీ మాతాజీ రోజు నేను చెప్పాలి కదా?
చెప్పు. ఎవరైనా
మనం ఇద్దరు చెప్పచ్చా?
పాపం చెల్లిని చెప్పని. చెల్లి ఎక్కడన్నా మిస్ అయితే అప్పుడు నువ్వు చెప్పు.
ఓకే మాతాజీ.
క్వశ్చన్ బ్యాంక్ అని చెప్పింది నేను, అందుకనే. కానీ చెప్పు.
ఓం అజ్ఞానతిమిరాంధస్య జ్ఞానాంజనశలాకయా చక్షుర్మిలితం యేన తస్మై శ్రీ గురవే నమః. శ్రీ చైతన్య మనోభీష్టం స్థాపితం లేన భూతలే స్వయం రూపా కదా మహ్యం దదాతి స్వపదాంతికం. వందేహం శ్రీ గురు శ్రీయుతాపదకరణం శ్రీ గురున్ వైష్ణవాం చ శ్రీరూపం సాగ్రజాతం సహగణా రఘునాథాన్వితం తం సజీవం చాద్వైతం సావధూతం పరిజనా సహితం కృష్ణ చైతన్య దేవం శ్రీ రాధాకృష్ణ పాదాన్ సహగణ లలిత శ్రీ విశాఖాన్వితాంశ్చ. హే కృష్ణ కరుణా సింధో దీనబంధో జగత్పతే గోపీశా గోపికాకాంత రాధాకాంత నమోస్తుతే. సప్తకాంత గౌరాంగి రాధే బృందావనేశ్వరి వృషభానుసుతే దేవి ప్రణమామి హరిప్రియే. వాంఛాకల్పతరుభ్యశ్చ కృపా సింధుభ్యేవ చ పతితానాం పావనేభ్యో వైష్ణవేభ్యో నమో నమః. శ్రీకృష్ణ చైతన్య ప్రభు నిత్యానంద శ్రీ అద్వైత గదాధర శ్రీవాసాది గౌర భక్తవృంద. హరే కృష్ణ 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 హరే 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 రామ 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 హరే హరే. హరే కృష్ణ మాతాజీ.
అనన్య, రేపు నువ్వు చెప్తావా ప్రేయర్? ఎల్లుండి నెక్స్ట్ వీక్. అనన్య, will you say the prayer next week? Just put it in chat, yes or no, that's enough. Ananya. Bad girl. Okay, learn. Slowly learn, take your time, but one day you have to tell, okay? Okay, one day you will have to tell, learn. Okay, so we'll start. We're going to Krishna Katha. So we have completed Krishna Kathas. We learned, we enjoyed, we heard about all Krishna's small, when he was, the stories when he was a small boy. We have heard what all how Krishna has killed various people, and how devotion should be. We even learned why Krishna was stealing butter, and various things like that. We learned about Krishna. And now later, when he was 9 years old, he is gone to Mathura, and now he has killed his uncle in the last week. So after that, he did not go back to Vrindavan. He was in Mathura only. He finished his education. And Jarasandha. Who is Jarasandha? Jarasandha is Kamsa's wife's brother. He wanted to take revenge on Krishna, so he was continuously coming for fighting on Mathura. So Krishna, even though he could kill Jarasandha, he did not kill Jarasandha because Jarasandha was a Rakshasa, and if he kills Jarasandha, all the other Rakshasas will get distributed, dispersed. So what he did intelligently was he used to kill everybody who came to help Jarasandha and left the others. So left Jarasandha. So Jarasandha used to go back again, collect all the demon, and then bring for a war. Like this, the war was continuously going. Once he came with the Kalayana, where Kalayana was also killed by one. What is this man's name? He was also killed. So now later, after killing Kalayana, Krishna and Balarama came back to Mathura. Meanwhile, Krishna has constructed a beautiful city, Dwaraka, in the ocean, just to avoid the raids of all these demons who were coming to kill Krishna. Because every time they come, the people are getting disturbed. So Krishna did not want them to get disturbed. So he has one night against his glance. Just he thought of having a beautiful city, and so a beautiful city of Dwaraka was constructed, and all the people in Mathura were just simply moved there. They slept here and got up there. And after Kalayana was killed, he came back to Mathura where the war was going on. So what Krishna did is he wanted to give a gap for the war for some time. So Krishna and Balarama again pretended as if they were running, and Jarasandha was chasing them. So they just got up, they went up the hill of Pravakshana mountain, and then it was a huge mountain where Jarasandha has set a huge fire, and then Krishna and Balarama jumped from there to a long distance. So Jarasandha came and saw there, and he did not see anybody, and Jarasandha thought Krishna was killed. And so Jarasandha was very happy, thinking that he has killed Krishna. So now we go to the stories of Krishna's marriage. Till now we are seeing Krishna as Bala, a small boy, and then he killing all the demons. Now we'll start with the various marriages of Krishna. So Krishna, Rukmini. Who is Rukmini? Rukmini, Krishna has married a lot of people, out of which 8 are his prime wives, the basic wives. They are nobody else but other than Lakshmi Devi. Lakshmi Devi also has taken various forms because of various pastimes and various reasons. And Rukmini was one of the main avatara of Lakshmi Devi, and she was a beautiful lady, very beautiful lady, and she was the princess of Vidarbha. Rukmini was the princess of Vidarbha. She basically, those days they didn't have any phones, they didn't have any WhatsApp, they didn't have any videos, they didn't even have photographs. So she doesn't know how Krishna looks, but Krishna Leelas were so famous those days. Like all sacred people used to talk about Krishna Leelas. Like a lot of Brahmins and others who keep visiting, who keep touring to places from one place to other, they keep moving around, and they heard about Krishna Leelas. They heard the glories of Krishna, all the greatness of Krishna. They came, and when they visit various places and they come to some other place, they talk about what they have seen in the previous places. So when they were talking, Rukmini heard about the greatness of Krishna. And after hearing the greatness of Krishna, Rukmini fell in love with Krishna. And she, in her mind, she has decided to marry Krishna. And Rukmini's brother was Rukmi. Rukmi again is a very close friend of Sishupala. Sishupala again is a cousin of Krishna only. But because Rukmi and Sisupala are very close, because they're very close, Rukmi wanted to give Sisupala, his sister, to in marriage to Sisupala. But Rukmi expresses saying that I like Krishna and I want to marry Krishna. But then he says no, and because Krishna has been killing all the demons and Krishna has killed his uncle and all that, Rukmi has a very bad opinion on Krishna. And so Rukmi arranges Rukmini's marriage with Sisupala. So, but Rukmini, she could not do anything. Then the first letter ever written was by Rukmini. She just writes a letter. She writes a letter to whom she writes a letter to Krishna, saying saying that, I mean, like she thought there's no point in hesitating, saying that keeping silent on this. So she, in that letter, she gives it to a Brahmin, and then she sends it to Krishna. And in that she writes, she expresses all her love on Krishna. She writes all the glories of Krishna. And then she writes, you are this great, and all the, we have been talking about various glories of Krishna. So she writes all the glories, and then she says, and she expresses her heart. And then she say, in that letter, she says, Krishna, I am expressing my heart. I don't know whether this letter, because this Brahmin, when they go, they have to go by walk, or they have to take a bullock cart and go. We don't know how many days it is going to take. It's quite far off. So I don't know whether this letter is going to reach you at all. If it reaches you also, whether it is going to reach you on time or not. And and here the thing is, I am liking you, I am loving you, and it doesn't mean that you have to love me. So I don't know whether you are going to love me, and whether you are going to love me or not. So I don't know what is going to happen, but I feel that it is my responsibility to tell you that I love you. If I don't tell you that I love you, how will you know that I love you? So at least let me express my mind that I love you. When I say that I love you, at least it's up to you how you respond to it. So that kind of a beautiful in Bhagavatam, the love letter of Rukmini was very beautifully explained, in which she had very nicely glorified Krishna. And then the Brahmin finally successfully takes the letter to Krishna, and then says that so and so has sent this letter. Then Krishna tells the Brahmin, you read the letter. Then the Brahmin says, no, how can I read? It's a letter written by Rukmini Mata. Then Krishna says, see, Rukmini Mata has so much of love, faith on you. So even I should have faith on you. And he makes the Brahmin read the letter, and then he responds very positively. Krishna is a kind-hearted man. That too, this is nobody other than Lakshmi Devi. And when Lakshmi Devi says, come, I am getting married with a wrong person, please come and take me. Why will Krishna keep silent? So immediately he starts back. Mm, that night itself, whole night, he rides on his horse to Vidarbha. While going, he takes the Brahmin also along with him, because it is the Brahmin who brought the message. And then he sends a word with the Brahmin to Rukmini, saying that tomorrow morning you come to the temple. So the next day morning, the next day itself was, the Brahmin, after Krishna, now Rukmini doesn't know whether the letter reached Krishna or not. So she'll be waiting at the window, and when she sees the Brahmin, she feels very happy. And then the Brahmin goes and gives the message that Krishna has come. He is very much in town. So tomorrow morning, you go to the temple and meet Krishna. So the next day was Rukmini's wedding. So for ending, even we have the custom of doing what you call this Gauri Puja. So similarly, the Rukmini also goes there to goes to the temple to go to do Gauri Puja. Mm. So after going there, she does, and everybody, the total city assembles there. Why do they assemble? Because it is the princess marriage, and the princess is coming there to do puja to Gauri Devi, and everybody wanted to see how beautiful the princess is. And after doing that, so after the Gauri Puja, okay, Rukmini Mata will be only half-hearted, thinking that what kind of, say, I don't know whether Krishna is going to come, because the beauty here is, till then she has never seen Krishna, nor Krishna has seen Rukmini. But in spite of that, she felt in love with Krishna, hearing about the greatness of Krishna. This is what is important in life. We should like a person because of the characters, not because of their external beauty, and not because of their materialistic things. We should like or love somebody because of the good characters in them. So that way, so after that, Krishna, after the prayer, she keeps coming out. Lot of princes, those who have come for the marriage that day, everybody keeps looking at Rukmini Mata, and then they'll be all been very happy, we're astonished at the beauty of Rukmini Mata, the most beautiful lady. So that way, when it's happening, then Krishna comes and stands there. The moment Rukmini sees Krishna, she understands that he is Krishna. Because Krishna is Krishna. Krishna will be one amongst anybody. Wherever Krishna is there, anybody can identify him. There is no question of Krishna not being located. So immediately, the moment Rukmini Mata sees Krishna, Krishna gives her his hand, and Rukmini takes his hand, and immediately he puts Rukmini onto the chariot, and then they just go off. Then everybody suddenly they get a shock. What is happening? And before the time they realize, Balarama comes there, Krishna's brother, with all his army, and then starts stopping everybody, because there's a huge army there. Because everybody is suspecting that Krishna might come and take Rukmini. So there's a huge escort given to Rukmini Mata there. So the total escort is there. So immediately Balarama with his army stops all of them. But Rukmini's brother, Rukmi, he doesn't stay there. He keeps going on his horse to the horse behind Krishna and Rukmini. And after going for some time, after going for a long time, this Rukmi will be shouting, Krishna, stop, you will have to stop and fight with me. You will have to stop and fight with me. So what Krishna does is, Krishna immediately stops the vehicle and both of them start fighting. The moment they start fighting, Rukmi can nowhere stand in front of Krishna. So immediately what he does is, Krishna with his arrows cuts down all Rukmi's arrows and everything. And so finally it comes to a stage where Krishna was about to kill Rukmi. So immediately Rukmini comes and then stands before Krishna and then prays, Krishna, I really love you. I wanted to marry. I want you and I wanted to do anything for you, but not at the cost of killing my brother. So please don't kill my brother. Leave my brother. Because if you kill my brother and take me, I cannot be happy. So my brother cannot die because of my marriage. So when Rukmi pleads Krishna, and that was the first time they met, and when Rukmini makes such a request, how can Krishna say no? So what Krishna does is, then before that, this Rukmi takes a oath, until I defeat Krishna and bring back Rukmini, I am not going to enter back my country. I am not going to enter back my kingdom, my Vidarbha. So he takes such a big oath. So immediately what Krishna does is, he takes his knife and shaves half of his head and half of his mustache. See, these days people very simply remove their mustache, but those days having mustache means it is a prestige. A person without mustache means he is unfit, not mean like a person who doesn't feel proud about himself don't put on mustache. So those days they used to put mustache. That's very a status symbol kind of thing. That too, especially the kings. So what Krishna does is he does have even the head also is normally here. Now these days we grow the way we want, but those days there is a system in which they used to grow their head. So only when parents die or some disaster happens in the family, they shave their head. So what Krishna did is did half. That means it is like nothing less than killing. Shaving half head means it is nothing less than killing. So what he has done is he has done that, and Rukmi also says, "Why are you doing this to my brother? Mm, please don't do it." So, but look, he does that, and then Ananya, you have a doubt? Yeah. Where do I mute? Yeah. Can you ask me at the end, or you want to listen to it now itself? Huh? Can we see? A lot of people are asking. So can just note down your doubts unless you are not able to understand. At the end, you can ask me all the doubts. Okay? Chat. Yamini, okay. Ananya, and okay, Ananya, right, Amma. You can ask me the doubts at the end. Yamini wants to tell the prayer tomorrow, right, Amma? No problem. Okay. So that way, Krishna, what he does is he takes Rukmini to Dwaraka, and they get married in a very grand manner. The marriage happens in such a grand way, which never has happened in the history. That way, Rukmini Mata and Krishna gets married. So that is the first marriage. Then the next one. Ganesh cursed to moon. I think all of you know this story. I think all of you know this story. Every Ganesh Chaturthi, we all hear this story. Everybody knows this story. Akshaya, you want to tell the story? No, okay, then I'll tell. So what happens is all of us know Ganesh he likes eating undrallu. He eats lot of undrallu. Why, Brunda, you want to say? Okay, no, don't raise your hands unless you are serious about something because I get distracted. Huh? Don't raise your hand. Okay, so normally Ganesh eats lot of food. So one day Ganesh was invited by somebody for a dinner, and then after the dinner also because the food was so beautiful, what Ganesh does is he collected all the sorry. He collected all the things and he just collects them all that and keeps going home. So while going, because of his already he has a very big tummy, and because the big tummy and because it has still blown up while going home, and on his small mushika on his rat, what happens is one snake comes. The moment a snake comes, this rat gets frightened and then rat runs away from that. When our vehicle just slips down, what happens? We fall down. When we fall down, what happens? Everything whatever we are carrying falls down. And so Ganesh falls down and he keeps picking up everything. He was a boy then. Then the moon in the sky looks at Ganesha and then he bursts out laughing. Already Ganesha must be feeling very bad that he fell down, because and then normally when we know this, no, when small children when they fall down they look that side and this side, and when nobody is there they keep quiet. When somebody laughs at them they cry. So that way Ganesha also, when the moon laughs he just gets upset because it was not his fault. By mistake he fell down. Why should moon laugh? So this is one thing we should learn also. We also should learn. We should not laugh at others for no reason. Okay, between friends we do a lot of things, but between strangers and other things, we should not unnecessarily laugh at others, ridicule others, belittle others, and things like that we should not do. So when Ganesh gets angry and gives a curse to the moon, saying that whoever looks at you because you are laughing at me, because you are coming out every day and standing there, you are looking at me and laughing. So whoever looks at you will get a bad omen. That means they will be blamed for something which they have not done. That means what happens if I look at moon and if I get blamed for something which I have not done, whom will I blame first? I will blame the moon. So everybody will start blaming the moon. Everybody will start cursing the moon. All these days we were all enjoying the beauty of the moon. Now what will happen? We will all, the moment moon comes, we will all bend on our head and we'll say again, this foolish fellow has come, that fellow has come. We will all start hating moon. So when somebody starts hating us, it becomes very painful. So because it becomes very painful. So moon understood this and immediately he comes down and then says sorry to Ganesha, and then he tells Ganesha, mm, please excuse me, I have done a mistake, so please take back your curse, because your curse will harm lot of people will have to suffer because of your curse, and I will also be in a very bad situation. Then okay, Ganesha by then becomes cool, and then okay, he says, okay, I have already given you a curse. The moment I give you a curse, I cannot take back, so I give you an exemption for it. Not on all days, but on Vinayaka Chaturthi days, on that night, if somebody looks at you, he will be blamed for the mistake which he has not done. That also moon says, please don't do it, because for no fault of theirs, why they should suffer. Then Ganesha says, okay, that day also, if somebody listens to our story, what happened today, then nothing will happen to them. Why we should we listen to this story is, it is not just listening the story. Whenever we listen to a story, what is important here is we should understand the moral of the story. The moral of the story is that we should never laugh at others for their setbacks. Because Ganesha was so fat, moon laughed at him. So that's a setback in Ganesha, for which Ganesha moon laughed. So even in our life, we should never laugh at others for their setbacks. So that is the moral of this story. So things this happened and things keep going. So one day what happens is, I don't know how far this part of the thing is correct, but this I have been hearing from my childhood, so I'm telling. Because yesterday I searched in the books, I did not get this anywhere. One day when Krishna was milking the cow, he has seen on Vinayaka Chaturthi, he has seen the reflection of the moon in the milk. So even though Krishna has not seen the direct moon on Vinayaka Chaturthi, Krishna has seen the reflection of the moon in the milk. That is the reason Krishna also discussed, even though Krishna was a god, because he has come to this planet, materialistic planet, Krishna also gets the effect of the curse. So how does Krishna get the effect of the curse? We have to know the story of Samantaka Mani. So, what is this? Satyabhama's father. I forgot Satyabhama's father. What is his name? Satyabhama's father. What's his name? Not Jambavanta. Satyabhama's father. Story of Satrajit. Yeah. Yeah, Satrajit was a king. He was living very close to Dwarka. So when he is a great devotee of sun god. He was a great devotee of sun god, and daily he used to pray sun god regularly. So sun god was very pleased with him, and Satrajit was given a diamond called Samantaka Mani. So this is a very valuable diamond. The greatness of this diamond is, every day it gives 170 pounds of gold every day. That means if you have the diamond in our house, we will every day morning we'll have 170 pounds of gold in the house. So daily if you keep getting like that, it will be lot of riches. And wherever the jewel is kept, Nobody will feel sick or hungry. And that is one more advantage of having this. So, so such kind of a beautiful, very valuable gift. So Samantakamani, Satrajit was gifted by sun god. See, if Satrajit was a modest man, he would have really utilized it, because more than gold, wherever that is there, there is no hunger or sickness. So, but he felt very proud about his diamond. So what he did is he made a beautiful locket of the diamond and he has put it on his neck and goes to Dwarka. When he has gone to Dwarka, everybody thinks that the diamond shines so greatly that everybody thought the sun himself was coming in. So everybody, when everybody says, then he says, Satrajita says, no, it is not the sun who is coming. It is me, Satrajit, who is coming. I have this valuable diamond with me. This I am so great. So when he visits Krishna, Krishna sees the diamond. Then Krishna says, see, Satrajit, you got such a valuable thing. So you don't keep it. You give it to my grandfather, because King Ugrasena is in charge of all these kingdoms. That Satrajit kingdom and all are a part of King Ugrasena's kingdom. Like it is our Delhi is our capital and lot of states between that we have, no? It is like that. So Krishna says, give it to the main king, King Ugrasena, so that if the main king has it, the Chakravarti has it, the total empire will be very peaceful and nice. So give it to Ugrasena. But Satrajit says, no, I will not give. This is mine. I want to keep it for myself. And then he refuses to give it to Krishna, and then he blames Krishna. Krishna, how can you ask me all this? And then he uses all kind of wrong language on Krishna. So Krishna says, okay, it's left to you. I have given you a suggestion. If you want to take the suggestion, take, otherwise leave it. And Krishna leaves. Then the next day, what happens is Satrajittu has a brother called Prasena. This Prasena takes the jewel and it puts it in his neck and then goes for hunting. When he goes for hunting, one big lion comes and kills his horse and also his brother, and he found something very interesting in the neck, and so the lion happily takes the chain and then goes. So when the lion takes the chain and goes, this Jambavant is a, all this monkey king, about bear. He is a bear. Jambavant is one amongst in Ramayana. If all of you know Ramayana, you must have heard about Jambavant. He is also a part of the people in Ape Kingdom. He also helped Rama to. He is the one. Actually, I don't know whether you are aware of Hanuman. And curse. Hanuman was a very naughty boy in his childhood. So when he was a very naughty boy and he used to do all kind of mischiefs, because he knew that he was a very energetic boy. So he was causing a lot of trouble to all the people around. He was a child. So then he gets a curse saying that you have become so naughty because you know that you are so energetic. So you will forget your talent unless somebody reminds you. That is the curse Hanuman has. So when everybody goes in search of Sita, Hanuman also goes in search of Sita. And when they go to the seashore, they know that they have to cross that sea and go to the other side to the Lanka. But everybody will be sitting there and wondering who will go, how can we cross and all that. Then it is Jambavanta who reminds Hanuman, saying that Hanuman, you have forgotten your strength. You are a man with lot of capacity. You have the capacity, you can jump over the sea and go. So it was Jambavan. That is how Jambavan helped Rama in finding out Sita. And Jambavan was also a great devotee of Rama. So this Jambavan, he came across this lion, and then he was a very energetic man. He killed lion and took the jewel. And basically, he is a very devotional person. He doesn't bother about these diamonds. So what he did is he took the diamond and went home, and he has a one daughter and one son. The daughter is a grown-up girl. The son is a small boy. So he gave it to the son. Okay, play with this. He never valued the 170 pounds of gold that is coming into it. He just treated it as one more toy. He said, okay, you take it and play. So that Jambavan's son will be playing. Meanwhile, what happened is this Satrajit was worried. My brother has gone to the forest, he has not come. And so he sends his people and finds his brother dead. So he worries, who can kill my brother? Such a brave man. So he thinks that, oh, the other day Krishna has asked for my Samantakamani and I have not given. So it must be Krishna who has killed my brother. And so that way he spreads the wrong word on Krishna throughout the country, saying that Krishna is so bad, he killed my brother and he has taken the Samantakamani. And everybody talks about it, and the word reaches Krishna. And then Krishna feels bad. Krishna feels bad and thinks, what is this? I have never killed anybody unnecessarily. Why did I get this kind of a blame? And then so Krishna says, okay, a blame has come on to me. It is my responsibility to establish that I have not done the mistake. And then Krishna goes in search of the Samantakamani. And when he goes to the forest, he goes to this scene. And from this scene, he sees the tiger steps, lion steps, and then he follows the steps. After going there, after some time, he sees the lion dead there. And from there, he sees the footsteps of the Jambavan. And following the footsteps, he goes to the cave where Jambavan resides. So after going there, they'll be very like Jambavan. He does not recognize Krishna, even though Krishna tries to tell him that he is so and so. Jambavan doesn't accept, because Hanuman, Jambavan, they would like to look only in the form of Rama, not in the form of Krishna. So he doesn't agree, and they have a very huge fight for 22 days. And nobody comes out, then the fight goes on and on. So finally, Jambavan will be defeated. He'll be defeated so badly, and then again Krishna again touches his body like this. Again, Jambavan becomes okay. Then Jambavan gets a doubt, who is this man? Then he looks at Krishna as a different personality. Then again Krishna says, I am nobody other than Rama. Then Jambavan becomes very happy. And then Jambavan gives his daughter Jambavati to Krishna and gets her married to Krishna. This is the second wife of Krishna. Okay. Next. Now Krishna takes the Samantakamani and then returns it to Satrajit and says, see, you have put such a blame on me. I have not taken. This is what has happened. Here is your Samantakamani. Take it. So then Satrajit feels very bad for what he has done. He feels very bad. He goes home and feels very bad. And then he comes back and then gives his daughter Satyabhama, a very beautiful lady, and gets her married to Krishna. Satyabhama is also, she's a very beautiful princess, and also she's a great warrior. She can even do fight. She is none other than nobody else other than Bhudevi. Bhudevi is also another form of Lakshmi Devi. Bhudevi is we worship him as equal to Lakshmi Devi. Why Bhudevi was born as Satyavati is a different story. When we come to that, I'll tell you. Okay, so actually, their Satrajit father also. Satrajit father brings Satyavati, and not Satrajit's father. Satrajit brings Satyavati and then gets her married to Krishna. And then she is also very happy. And then she goes to Dwaraka. Okay, now we'll come to a different part of the story. Okay, just try to understand this. Now, all of you know about Pandavas, no? We know about Arjuna. Krishna has told Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. We will understand how Krishna and Arjuna are related. We will also try to understand the relation, the family here, because on and off we might be discussing about this. So I will not go to the previous thing, but I'll just be here only. There is one more dynasty called Kuruvamsam. The capital of Kuruvamsam is Hastinapur. There, one father, there's a big story how these three brothers are born, but there are three brothers called Dhritarashtra, Panduraju, and who is the third one? The third one is Vidura. And Dhritarashtra is the elder one, but Dhritarashtra unfortunately is a blind man. And Panduraju is fit in all ways. And Vidura, even though the father is same, Vidura was born to a maid servant in the house. So out of these three, Dhritarashtra cannot rule kingdom because he is blind. A king should not have any deficits in him. He should be all fit, because a blind man means he is not 100%, he won't be efficient. So a blind man cannot rule the kingdom. So actually Dhritarashtra will be highly disappointed for not being for not becoming the king. He always feels bad that just because of my blindness I could not become the king. But next is Panduraju, and also Vidura also cannot become king because he is born to a maid servant. So it is only Panduraju who can become the king, and Panduraju becomes the king. Okay, and Dhritarashtra marries Gandhari, and they have 100 sons. They have 100 sons. I think I told about Dhritarashtra when we were talking about karma. Why do bad things happen to good people and good things happen to bad people? I told you about Dhritarashtra, his sons. When all his sons died, what explanation Krishna has given, all this I have told. If required, we'll talk later. Okay. Now, Dhritarashtra has got 100 sons. And Panduraju has got two wives. First wife is Kunti and the second wife is Madri. Why I have put Kunti here in red is, Kunti Devi is none other than Krishna's father Vasudeva's sister. So Kunti Devi is Krishna's Manatta auntie. Very close, no? Our father's sister means she is very close to us. So Kunti's son means it is like first cousin, very, very close brother and sister. So these Kuntis, these Pandavas and Krishna are first cousins, and they are very close to each other. More than close and relation, each Krishna had highest opinion on this because they are Panduraju's sons, they are called Pandavas. On these Pandavas, and these boys also, these five also had lot of respect for Krishna. So the Dhritarashtra had 100 sons, and Kunti had 3 sons. They are Yudhishthira, Bhima, and Arjuna. And Dhritarashtra's elder son is Duryodhana. Okay, and Madri had 2 sons, Nakula and Sahadeva. And after later, what happens is, now Panduraju becomes the king, and for various reasons, Panduraju leaves the kingdom and goes to the forest with his wives, where he gets these 5 children. Okay, and Dhritarashtra has these 100 children. And now the main point here, what we have to understand is, now Dhritarashtra is there, Pandu is there. Now, whose children will become the king is the question. So, what as per the law prevailing that day, whoever has the eldest son amongst these two, Vidura's children are not eligible. Only Dhritarashtra, and between Dhritarashtra and Pandu, whoever has the elder son, whoever son is born first, will become the king. But then what happens is, Yudhishthira, the elder son of Kunti Devi, was born before Duryodhana. So naturally, Yudhishthira will become the king. So that Dhritarashtra could not take, because he was feeling very bad that because of his blindness, his son, he did not get the kingdom. Now, next, at least he was hopeful that his children will get the kingdom. But unfortunately, before his son was born, Kunti Devi had Yudhishthira. So he feels very bad. Now later, Pandurazu also died. So when Pandurazu died, you are able to follow, no? All this? So when Pandurazu died, the Dhritarashtra again becomes the acting king. He just keeps ruling. That's all. There is no king there. There will be no king. All these 100 sons of Dhritarashtra and 5 sons of Pandurazu, they are all prince. They are not sons. Okay, so now Dhritarashtra knows that once these boys grow up, Yudhishthira will become the king, which he does not want. And even Duryodhana also does not want that to happen. So, in order to stop it, before only, from the childhood, Duryodhana keeps planning all wrong things to kill these 5 children so that he has no competition and he becomes the king. So continuously what Duryodhana does is he always keeps planning something to kill everybody. So that is how the politics in Hastinapur was going. And these Pandavas are none other than cousin of Krishna. So they are very close. So after that, so after the marriage with Satyamama, Krishna returns back to Dwaraka. Then what happens is, as I told you, Dhritarashtra wants to kill these Pandavas. So what they do is they give a beautiful palace to Pandavas and they ask them to stay there. And one day when they were staying there, and the palace is not a normal palace. That palace is made up of wax. Wax, you know what wax is, no? The moment some heat is set there, it just totally melts. It totally melts. I mean, the people living in it would die. So, so the people living in that would die. So, what happened? The people living in that would die. So what Duryodhana plans is he keeps all of them there and then he tries to kill them. So that Vidura gets the news. So immediately he sends the news to Dhritarashtra, Vidura, these Pandavas, and Krishna also gets the news. And Krishna, and then what happens is that night they know that for the palace is going to be set fire. So that night, under the palace has a underground passage. So the Draupadi Mata and Bhima is a very hefty man, very energetic and very big, highly built. He carries all of them on his shoulders, and then from the tunnel he brings them out from the palace, and the palace will be set on fire, and the total palace burns. And unfortunately, that day, one beggar lady with 5 children, unknowingly she comes and sleeps there. And the next day, that lady will be burnt. So next day, when they see the dead bodies there, they think, oh, so these the Kunti and her 5 sons are dead. That's how Kauravas think. And but these 5 escape from there, and then they go into the forest. And now they come to know that this Duryodhana is making plans to kill them. So they think, okay, we will not go back for some time. We will be staying here only. That is, they plan that way. Hmm. They plan, and then so Krishna goes to them to help them in their because they are into exile. So that's Okay. Right. Thank you. So after taking revenge on Satyabhama's father's death, father's death, Krishna goes back to Krishna goes back to Pandavas who were moving around in the forest. So they go to when they are moving in the forest. What happened? What, Amma? Can you chat? Mataji, you're mute. You're mute. You're mute. Okay. No, the previous slide there is nothing. This slide, okay. This slide is where when Krishna went to Hastinapur, not Hastinapur, to Pandavas, because they were in trouble. That time, because Krishna was away, and this Sisupala and Rukmi takes the chance, and Satyabhama also was in her father's house. And that time, Satyabhama's this Rukmi and Sisupala comes and kills Satyabhama's father. So when Satyabhama sees her father dying so cruelly, immediately she sends word to Krishna. So Krishna comes there and takes revenge on kills the responsible people, and then again goes back to Krishna. Goes back to Arjuna. So when they go back and they keep moving in the forest, and then Agni, God Agni Deva. We know, no, every act in this universe has a God in charge of it. So for Agni also there is a Devata, there is a demigod called Agni Deva. The Agni Deva, he comes and pleads Krishna, saying that the Deva, what happened is Swetaketu. There is a king by name, emperor by name Swetaketu, who did yajna continuously for a very long time. And while doing yajna, what they do, they keep pouring ghee. So when they were pouring ghee, they have put so much of ghee into the fire, and Agni ate all the ghee, and Agni could not digest it. And because he could not digest it and he had some trouble, his capacity to burn things has come down. So now he has Agni, God Agni, who is the person who purifies everything, himself got impure. And then he wanted, then he didn't know what to do. So he goes and asks Chaturmukha Brahma, who can cure this kind of things. He goes and asks Chaturmukha Brahma, I am not well. How do I do? How do I rectify myself? So that only if I rectify myself, I will be able to do my duty properly. Then Chaturmukha Brahma says, okay, now you have a stomach trouble. You will have to eat certain herbals from there's a big forest called Kandava. So if you just burn the total forest, there are some Ayurvedic medicines in it, which also you will be burning. That means you will be eating them. If you eat all of them, then your stomach will get rectified. But then who is in charge of all this? This rain, forest, all these things comes under the control of Indra. So Indra doesn't allow the forest to be burnt because that is his property. He won't allow. So when it was such a fix, whenever this Agni Deva tries to go and eat the forest, immediately what Indra does is he keeps a big rain there, and then the sun subsides, fire subsides. So he comes and asks for the help of Krishna. So Krishna in turn tells Arjuna, okay, Arjuna, you take care of it. Then Arjuna says, okay, I'll do it. But because how are they? They don't even have, they're just moving around like vagabonds. Like because they just ran out from the palace, they just don't have anything with them. Then Arjuna asks for a bow and arrow. When Arjuna asks for a bow and arrow, Agni Deva gives him Gandiva. That is the main bow of Arjuna. That is what he has used throughout his life. Even in doing Kurukshetra, Arjuna has used the same bow and arrow. So, and then 2 arrows. These bow and arrow, once he starts shooting, he can shoot with them so fast that they don't stop, and he can do great war, and also he has given a beautiful chariot with 4 horses. All these things Arjuna gets. So, and then when it is given, so again the sun god, the Agni goes and tries to burn the forest. Then the rain starts. Arjuna with his bow just puts a tarpaulin kind of thing over the forest, so that he puts his arrows in such a close manner like this, the water doesn't fall down. So the fire below just burns, and then Agni Deva's stomach problem will be solved. Why should he eat so much and then suffer so much? So even we know, we eat so much, we suffer so much. So here one more thing, what happens is, while the forest is getting burned, all the animals and birds and everything suffer. So one bird called mm, so what is the name of the bird? Jeritari. There is a bird called Jeritari bird with its family, with his small chicks. It goes and pleads Agni Deva, please save me. Then Agni Deva doesn't eat it and then leaves it. So Agni Deva obliges. Then there is one snake there called Takshaka. The Takshaka snake was a very arrogant snake. Even it should have gone to the Agnideva and asked, please save me, because Agnideva doesn't have anything against anybody. Because he was eating the forest, because they are all there, they were getting burnt. But Takshaka was very arrogant and he didn't want to plead Agnideva. So what he does is he tries to escape, and finally, because he could not tolerate that, he tries to run away, and Arjuna puts his arrow and the tail of the Takshaka gets cut, but somehow Takshaka escapes. But Takshaka develops a lot of revenge on Arjuna. And then he thinks somehow I have to kill Arjuna. So what he does is, slowly he tries to, as days pass, this Takshaka understands the total political scene. And then he understands that Karna, I don't know how many of you know who is Karna. Okay, simple. To tell you one word, he is a friend of Duryodhana, and he fights for Duryodhana against Arjuna. When he understands the total thing, he slowly goes and settles in Karna's, as in Karna's arrow. So the advantage of this, using this Nagastra, this is a snake, no? So the advantage of it is, Karna knows that if I use this arrow, and this Karna and Arjuna, they have professional jealousy. Professional jealousy means both of them are archers. Means both of them are very good at putting arrows. So they have both of them think they are great. So somehow Karna wants to defeat Arjuna in the war. So Karna keeps it there for him to kill Arjuna in the war. So actually, that Takshaka snake, that arrow has got so much power to kill Arjuna. But even in the war, when Karna puts the arrow, Arjuna, in normal case, Arjuna would have died. But the advantage of having Krishna on Arjuna's side, the advantage of having God with us is, God knows how to save us. That is the thing. God knows how to save us. What Krishna does is, because Krishna is on the chariot and he knows Karna has put an arrow which Arjuna is going to die, he presses the chariot down. And then what happened? Arjuna goes down a bit. So instead of that arrow coming and hitting Arjuna here, it hits Arjuna on the crown and it goes off. So that way Arjuna will be killed. Not killed, saved. So even then he continues the grudge like that only for generations he continues the grudge. And later Arjuna's grandson Parikshit Maharaj, I told you many times about Parikshit Maharaj. He gets I think I'm getting into too many things. I don't know, are you people able to follow all this, or you want me to come back to Krishna's story? Getting confused? Okay, let's leave it here. Okay, so Arjuna says that. So now, okay, now we'll come to the, now how many marriages did Krishna have? 3 marriages. The 3, not 4. One is Rukmini, next one is Jambavati, third one is Satyabhama. So Krishna has 3 marriages. So 3 marriages are over. So we'll come to the 4th marriage. Is Kalindi. She is incarnation of Yamuna river. Like Yamuna river also, she is also a part of Lakshmi only, incarnation of Lakshmi. She performed austerity for thousands of years to marry Krishna, not Krishna, Vishnu, Krishna. So because she has done that, and this in this life she'll be born as a female, and Krishna marries Kalindi. When Krishna was going around in the forest with Arjuna, he comes around across with Kalindi and marries her. And later, the next wife is uh, Nagnajiti. She is the princess of Kaushalya or Kosala Raja. She too wanted to marry Krishna, but her father Nagajit did not want Krishna to marry him, because nobody liked Krishna those days, kings, because they were all feeling very jealous of Krishna. So they were all feeling very jealous. So, but this girl, she wanted to marry Krishna. So he arranges for his Swayamvaram and doesn't invite Krishna for the Swayamvaram. But because she loves him, Krishna comes. And then at the Swayamvaram, they arrange for some for the Swayamvaram. What they do is they are the poti the the competition was that there are huge 7 ferocious bulls kept there. So the whoever wants to win this Nagajiti has to control all the 7 bulls. So what Krishna does is, what Krishna cannot do, he simply goes there and simply becomes 7 Krishnas. Simple, he becomes 7 Krishnas, and each Krishna goes and then puts a rope on the neck of each bull and ties it at a place. And then that's when he wins. So he wins, and he marries Nagajiti. Then the next one is Mitravinda. She is also a princess of Avanti. Avanti means it is now in Madhya Pradesh. She is the daughter of Jayasena. Here, Jayasena also wanted to get his daughter married, but not to Krishna. So he invited for a Swayamvaram, and he does not invite. Uh, mm, no. Actually, this king wanted Krishna to marry him, but but her brother or somebody did not like it. And for the marriage, for the Swayamvaram, Duryodhana and other Kauravas also come, because this Mitravinda is a very beautiful lady, and they wanted to marry her, and they come there. And naturally, this Mitravinda wanted to marry Krishna, and then but her brothers did not want Mitravinda to marry Krishna. But as always, there was a fight between Duryodhana and Krishna, and Krishna wins. And then, in spite of winning the Swayamvaram, also they didn't want to give the girl to him. But then he just takes Mitravinda and goes off. The next one is Kalindi. Not Kalindi, sorry. It is not Kalindi, it is Lakshmana. Sorry, I forgot to change the name. It is Lakshmana. Again, she is the princess of Gandhara. Or this is either Gandhara or it could be a South Indian kingdom. And South Indian kingdom. She also was a very beautiful lady, and she also loved Krishna. And her family also arranges for a Swayamvaram for her, and again, they also don't invite Krishna. She also, but she prays within herself for Krishna to come and take her. Then even for this Swayamvaram, Duryodhana and Jarasandha comes. And there were a lot of challenges of archery is given, and as usual, Krishna wins everything. And Jarasandha also comes, Duryodhana comes, everybody comes, but Krishna wins. And after that also, they don't allow, they don't want to give her to this Lakshmana to Krishna, but what Krishna does is, he gets his Garuda, that is his Vahana, and then takes her and then goes off. Then the next one is Bhadra. Bhadra is the last eighth chief wife of Krishna, and she is the daughter of princess of Kaikeyi. That is a place called Kaikeyi. She is a princess there. Mm. And this is the only marriage which happened with the willingness of everybody. This Bhadra is the daughter of Kunti Maharani's sister's daughter. That means a very close friend of Krishna. So she also wanted to marry Krishna, and from her childhood, they were in love with each other and they got married. So now Krishna's 8 wives are there. 8 marriages are over. Now, Krishna kills Bhamasura. This Bhamasura is also one more king, a very a very negative king, where Krishna goes and then kills this Bhamasura. He goes there. Actually, I have not prepared. So Krishna goes there on his this thing and then kills Bhamasura. And then after killing Bhamasura, what he realizes is Bhamasura is such a bad man. He has kept 16,100 princes in his palace. That means he wanted to marry this Bhamasura wanted to marry all of them, and Krishna goes and rescues all of them. And in those days, if some girl is kidnapped by somebody and later they will not have nobody will marry them. So as because nobody will marry them, Krishna will be, so they all prayed Krishna, nobody will marry us, what do we do? So Krishna says, okay, no problem. And Krishna takes all of them to Dwaraka and marries all of them. Now, Krishna marries all. This is why Krishna has married 16,100. And those 8, I have given the story. Okay. Now we'll see how many wives Krishna has. Krishna has married Rukmini, Krishna has married Jambavati, then Satyabhama, then Kalindi, then Nagnajiti, then Mitravinda, then Lakshmana, then Bhadra, and finally 16,100 princes. These are all the wives of Krishna. And now Narada gets a doubt. Arey, what is this happening? Krishna, normally in this Bhuloka, somebody marries one person, with that one person itself they struggle. How can Krishna marry 16,108 ladies, and how is he living? Is he happy? Is he sorrow? What is happening? Narada wanted to see. So Narada visits Dwaraka. When Narada visits Dwaraka, Narada will be so surprised. Wherever Narada goes, he sees a Krishna there. That means in 16,108 palaces, Krishna has given to each wife. Every wife has got a separate palace. And wherever Narada went, he has seen Krishna. That means here we have to understand the difference between a human being and Krishna. Here, why I am telling you this is basically everybody in our society. What we do is, all of you more than understanding the marriages of Krishna, understanding this concept is very important for us, because lot of people, what they do is, those who are not loyal to their wife, and those for some their own reasons want to marry a number of people, they take the example of Krishna. Why, when Krishna has married, why I should not marry? When you have no problem in Krishna marrying so many people, why you should have problem in myself marrying? See, when we do a comparison, we should do the comparison in all ways. Like this, okay, Krishna has married 16,108, right? Very good, excellent. So if you want to compare with Krishna, will you do at least one act which Krishna has not done? Which Krishna has done? Like Krishna has started killing demon from the age of 3 months. Can you do? Krishna has simply lifted Govardhan Giri like this for 7 days. Can you just hold a cell phone for 7 hours? No. Krishna has killed a big snake. Krishna has killed demon. And what is that Krishna has not done? Krishna was continuously doing great things. That means Krishna is different from a human being. A Krishna, we cannot follow, we cannot say that whatever Krishna is doing, we will also do. See, Krishna, we have to understand the difference between Krishna and ourselves. We have to understand that we should not, we should take the good from the stories but not the bad. When somebody says Krishna has done it, I have not done it, I'll tell you a story. Why did Krishna marry so many things? From the beginning we have been telling only one thing in this Krishna kathas. Krishna in this life has been fulfilling the desires of all the people of his past. Like lot of people wanted to be friends of Krishna, they were all Gopas in Vrindavan. Wanted to be girlfriends of Krishna. They were all become gopis of Vrindavan. Whoever wanted to serve Krishna, they have given gopikas serving butter and other things to Krishna. Those who wanted to become mother, like Yashoda, they have taken the position of mother. And various people and various great people who did small things and got curses were all relieved from their curse in this life of Krishna. So similarly, lot of ladies also have done great penance to become the wives of Krishna, which it was a responsibility of Krishna to marry. So he has married. And even then, understand one thing. The marriage of Krishna is different between to our marriage. Why? Because Krishna, in spite of marrying so many people, Krishna is considered as brahmachari. I think all of you know who is a brahmachari. Brahmachari means an unmarried man. How can you call Krishna a brahmachari? Krishna is a brahmachari because Krishna is not a materialistic person. Krishna is a spirit soul. We are all children of Krishna. That means when Krishna wanted to create this soul, this universe or his creations, when he has created all the souls, like means he has created all of us in our materialistic life, a woman and man gets married and they have children. That is the natural way of getting a family done. But for Krishna, it is different. He doesn't require anything like that. That is different, this is different. So we have to understand here in materialistic life, to follow certain ethics in life, to follow certain discipline in life, there should be only one man and one lady. That is the beauty of marriage. But for Krishna, it is different because Krishna does not require a wife to have children. We are all children of Krishna. So that is, and see, and there is in Mahabharata, it is very clearly defined that Achintya Beda Abheda Tattvam means simultaneously one and simultaneously different. That means, I think it is all difficult for you to understand. Anyway, I leave it here. But here we should never, only thing, one thing you please understand, that Krishna is different and we human beings are different. Krishna needs a man, does not need a marriage for himself because he is everybody. No materialistic happiness. We feel very happy to get married. We feel very happy to have a wife or a husband. We feel very happy to have children. But Krishna does not require all that. Krishna just is happy. Whatever he wants happens. Krishna is a happy man. So these materialist things like getting married, not getting married, and all are not important. Whatever Krishna does, marrying, not marrying, everything is only to satisfy his devotees. Like, I love this time. I'll just tell you a small story and then conclude. Like when Krishna was in Vrindavan, once what happened is, one Rishi, Durvasa Muni, comes to Vrindavan and he sits the other side of Yamuna. So this side, Krishna goes to Gopis very late. Then Gopis ask Krishna, where did you go? He says, no, Durvasa Muni has come. So I have gone there to offer my obeisances. So those ladies says, okay, we will also prepare good prasadam for him and we will also go there. So Krishna says, okay. So they prepare beautiful lot of prasadam, and when they go, the Yamuna river will be flowing in a very ferocious manner. When it is flowing, then they ask Krishna, Krishna, how do we cross this Yamuna? Then Krishna says, you talk truth, it will just give you way. So they keep on saying a lot of things. Yamuna doesn't give way. So in their hearts, they know that they are not speaking the truth. Then they say, Krishna, okay, now tell me, what is that we have to tell? Then Krishna tells them, okay, you tell them that I am a brahmachari, it will open. Then they will all be stunned. You, a brahmachari? Krishna says, yes, you tell that. We'll see whether it gives a way or not. Then when Krishna says, I am a brahmachari, the Yamuna gives a river. Then they'll be confused. Are, is it true? And then, okay, they just leave it there and go to the other side. And when they go to Durvasa Muni, and when they offer all the things cooked, and then Durvasa Muni happily eats everything. And then he says, okay, I'm satisfied now. And when they are coming back, again the river, they had to say something. Now they ask Krishna, Krishna, now what should we say? Then he says, you tell that Durvasa Muni is on fasting today. Again, these ladies are confused. What is this? Durvasa Muni on fasting? Just now we took pots and pots of food and he ate everything. And you say Durvasa Muni is fasting? Then Krishna explains. See, Durvasa Muni ate everything. But why did he eat? He did not eat for his happiness. He did not eat because he enjoyed the food. He ate the food for you. It is not for his satisfaction he has eaten. He has eaten for your satisfaction. That means he has gone on fasting. Similarly, when we say Krishna is a brahmachari, Krishna has married for the happiness of his wives, not because they wanted to marry, and not because he wanted to marry them. That is the difference. So there is lot of difference between Krishna marrying many number of people and our human beings marrying lot of people. This is where we will end today. Okay, I think I have confused you in lot of things today, but okay, so we'll stop here. Okay, one after one. Okay, Akshaya, tell me what it is.
మాతాజీ మీరు చెప్పారు కదా చంద్రునికి గణేశుడు కర్స్ ఇచ్చారని, అది మనము ఈ స్టోరీని వింటే ఆ కర్స్ మనకి ఎఫెక్ట్ కాదు అని చెప్పారు కదా.
ఆ రోజు ఈ స్టోరీ వినాలి.
మళ్ళీ ఆ రోజు కృష్ణుడు వినలేదు కదా, మళ్ళీ కృష్ణుడు ఎలా
కృష్ణుడు కదమ్మా, అందుకని కృష్ణుడు కాబట్టి వినకుండా తప్పించుకున్నాడు. Was attendance posted?
No, Mataji.
Yeah, it's posted just now. Anusha Mataji has posted. Just see. Okay, just all of you answer. Krishnudu kabatti Krishnudu స్థానం ఏంటమ్మా? It's only setting an example for us. Okay, కృష్ణుడికి ఏముంది? అది మనకైనా ఒక నింద వచ్చింది అనుకో, ఎన్నాళ్ళు ఉంటుంది, పోతుంది. అలాంటిది కృష్ణుడు కాబట్టి he overcame that. ఓకే,
మరి మళ్ళా ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే రాధారాణి ఎవరు అలా అయితే? మళ్ళీ
రాధారాణి ఈజ్ ద ఫీమేల్ పొటెన్సీ ఆఫ్ కృష్ణ. అంటే కృష్ణుడిలో ఉన్న, అది మీకు చెప్పడం కష్టంగా ఉంది, అది యాక్చువల్లీ రాధారాణి కానీ బలరాముడు కానీ వాళ్ళ కృష్ణుడిలో ఉన్న ఫీమేల్ తత్వం రాధారాణి ఈజ్ నో డిఫరెంట్ ఫ్రమ్ కృష్ణ హర్సెల్ఫ్. అది గోలోకానికి వెళ్తే అక్కడ ఉండేది కృష్ణ అండ్ రాధారాణి. ద గ్రేటెస్ట్ డివోటీ ఆఫ్ కృష్ణ ఈజ్ రాధారాణి.
మళ్ళా మీరు అది ఫస్ట్ రుక్మిణి వాళ్ళ అన్న తల హాఫ్ హెయిర్స్ ని కట్ చేస్తుంది, మళ్ళీ ఇంకోటి ఏమో చెప్పచ్చు కదా, అలాంటి ఏమంటే
మీసాలు తీసేస్తే దట్స్ ఇన్సల్ట్. ఇట్స్ ఇన్సల్ట్. ఈవెన్ ఇప్పటికి కూడా మన విలేజెస్ లో తప్పు చేస్తే పనిష్మెంట్ కింద అట్లా తీసేసి గాడిద మీద ఎక్కించి ఊరంతా తిప్పుతారు. ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ ఇన్సల్టింగ్. ఇట్స్ ఎ సార్ట్ ఆఫ్ పనిష్మెంట్. అంతే.
ఓకే
హర్షిత్, యా చెప్పమ్మా.
మాతాజీ నేను అడ్రస్ పెట్టాక ఎన్ని రోజుల తర్వాత వస్తుంది బ్యాగ్?
నీకు నేను ఒకసారి మా ఇంటికి రా, నేను 2 దెబ్బలు కొడతా. క్వశ్చన్ బ్యాంక్ అని పెట్టింది నీకు పేరు అదే. పోస్టల్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ నా చేతిలో ఉందా? కొరియర్ ఉందా? నీది ఏ ఊరో నాకు తెలుసా? వస్తది కదా.
ఓకే మాతాజీ.
ఎందుకమ్మా నీకు పిచ్చి పేషన్ వేస్తావు? ఓకే సరే. సిరి.
మాతాజీ అది కృష్ణాష్టమికి డాన్స్ చేయమన్నారు కదా,
అవునమ్మా.
దానికి సాంగ్ లో మీరు ఒక పాట ఇస్తారా, లేకపోతే ఏ పాటలో అయినా చేయొచ్చా? ఎందుకంటే అందరిది కలపడం కష్టమైతుంది కదా. ఒకరు
ఇప్పుడు మొన్న ఒక సాంగ్ పెట్టాను చూసావా? దానికి మా ఒకసారి నేను సుమన మాతాజీ కలిపి చెప్తాం మీకు ఎట్లా చేయాలో. ఒక్కొక్కళ్ళు చిన్న బిట్ చేస్తే ఫ్యామిలీగా అవన్నీ మాకు పంపిస్తే అవన్నీ కలిపి ఆ సాంగ్ ని టోటల్ గా ప్లే చేద్దాం. అదొకటి. తర్వాత
ఓకే మాతాజీ,
ఒకటి ఒక బిట్ అంతే, అది ఒక బిట్. తర్వాత డాన్స్ చేస్తానంటే అది ఎవరి దాళ్ళదే ఇది సాంగ్ అంతే.
అంటే మాతాజీ అందరి సాంగ్ సౌండ్ తగ్గించేసి బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ లో ఆ సాంగ్ పెడతారా?
ముందే ప్రీ రికార్డెడ్ అమ్మా అది మటుకు. ఆ పాట ఒక్కటి, ఆ వీడియో ఒక్కటి ప్రీ రికార్డెడ్, మిగతా అన్ని లైవ్ పెట్టు.
మాతాజీ ఆ ఫుల్ సాంగ్ చేయొచ్చా లేకపోతే?
చెప్తానమ్మా, డీటెయిల్స్ చెప్తాను.
ఓకే అయితే ఈ రోజు చేద్దాం అనుకుందాం, అందుకని అడిగితే.
మీరా ఇవాళ కాదు, నెక్స్ట్ అందరూ కలిసి చేద్దాం అనుకున్నారా? ఇవాళ కాదు, మళ్ళీ చేద్దాం. ఆల్రెడీ లేట్ అయింది, ఇంకోసారి సుమనా మాతాజీ కూడా ఉన్నప్పుడు చేద్దాం. బై ది వే విషయం, రేపు క్లాస్ 4 o'clockకి. సుమనా మాతాజీకి రేపు కొంచెం పని ఉందంట. టుమారో క్లాస్ ఎట్ 4 o'clock. యా. కౌశిని యా చెప్పమ్మా.
మాతాజీ కృష్ణుడు ఉన్నాడు కదా మాతాజీ,
ఉన్నాడు.
చేసుకున్నాడు కదా మాతాజీ. ఫస్ట్ వైఫ్
ఏం చేసుకున్నాడు?
మ్యారేజ్
చేసుకున్నాడు.
ఫస్ట్ వైఫ్ ఎవరు మాతాజీ?
రుక్మిణి అమ్మా. క్లాస్ లో లేవా?
లేదు మాతాజీ, కొంచెం లేట్ గా వచ్చాను మాతాజీ.
ఓకే, సో పెళ్లి మిస్. ఓకే రైట్. అనన్య చెప్పమ్మా. అనన్య.
Mataji, where did Krishna and Arjuna met first time, Mataji?
I'm really not sure. From the childhood, they might not. From the childhood, only after coming to Mathura, they must have met. Mostly, they have met after this after this burning of their town. That their building palace was burnt. No, mostly after that. Because before that, most of the time Krishna was in Vrindavan, and after that Krishna was busy. As I know, they have not met in their childhood days. As I know, they have not. I'm really not sure, Amma. Yeah. Yamini.
Mataji, అది కృష్ణాష్టమికి డాన్స్ చేయాలా, పాట పాడాలా మాతాజీ?
నీకు ఏది కంఫర్టబుల్ అయితే అది. ఏది
మాతాజీ మీరు పెట్టినారు కదా మాతాజీ, అదే చేయాలా మాతాజీ?
అందరూ తలా కొంచెం చేయండి, దాన్ని కలిపి ఒక వీడియో చేద్దాము. అది కాకుండా మీరు ఇండిపెండెంట్ గా ఏదో ఒకటి చేసుకోండి.
ఓకే మాతాజీ.
ఓకే సరే. హర్షిని.
ఎస్ మాతాజీ, కృష్ణ ఇంకా రాధ ప్రేమించుకున్నారు కదా మాతాజీ, ఎందుకు మరి కృష్ణ రాధాని పెళ్లి చేసుకోలేదు?
దట్స్ ఎ వెరీ బిగ్ ఆన్సర్ అమ్మా. బట్ టు టెల్ యూ సింపుల్, ఇందా నేను చెప్పా కదా, కృష్ణ అండ్ రాధ ఆర్ నాట్ డిఫరెంట్. వాళ్ళిద్దరూ ఒకటే ఫర్ వేరియస్ రీజన్స్. అట్లా రెండొక రూపంగా వచ్చింది రాధ. ఇట్ ఈస్ లైక్ నన్ను నేనే పెళ్లి చేసుకోవడం అంటే ఎట్లానో, కృష్ణ రాధా పెళ్లి చేసుకోవడం అంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ లైక్ మ్యారింగ్ హిమ్సెల్ఫ్. కాకపోతే దీని ఆన్సర్ చాలా పెద్దది, చాలా దీనికి ఎక్స్ప్లెనేషన్ గంటలు పెద్ద ప్రభుత్వం చెప్తారు. ఇట్ ఈస్ సింపుల్ గా చెప్పాలంటే కృష్ణ అండ్ రాధా ఆర్ నాట్ డిఫరెంట్, బోత్ ఆర్ సేమ్. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ లైక్ మ్యారేయింగ్ దెమ్సెల్స్. అది హర్షిణి. బృంద ఏంటమ్మా? మీ డౌట్ అయిపోగానే హ్యాండ్స్ లోవర్ చేయండి. బృంద అన్మ్యూట్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. వినపట్లేదు బృంద. యు ఆర్ అన్మ్యూటెడ్ బట్ వినపట్లేదు. ఇప్పుడు మ్యూట్ చేసుకున్నావు, ఇందాక అన్మ్యూటే ఉన్నావు కానీ వినపడలా. వినపట్లేదమ్మా. ఈలోపు చూసుకో. కృష్ణప్రియ విష్ణుప్రియ నువ్వు చెప్పండి.
మాతాజీ ఎప్పుడు ఉంటది మాతాజీ కృష్ణాష్టమి ప్రోగ్రామ్?
ఇంకా డేట్ ఫిక్స్ చేయలేదమ్మా. బహుశా ఆ రోజు కానీ వన్ డే అటు ఇటు కానీ ఉంటుంది. 90% ఆ రోజు పెట్టడానికి ట్రై చేద్దాం, చూద్దాం. ఇంకా నాట్ ఫిక్స్డ్.
ఓకే రాధారాణి కృష్ణుడి తాలూకా ఆహ్లాదిని శక్తి కదా మాతాజీ?
ఫీమేల్ పొటెన్సీ. యా, కృష్ణుడిలో
మాతాజీ మేము ఒక లెక్చర్ లో కూడా విన్నాము, బ్రహ్మదేవుడు రాధాకృష్ణకి మ్యారేజ్
చేస్తారా? నేను తెలీదమ్మా, నాకు తెలీదు, నేను వినలేదు. విన్నది ఏంటంటే మన లెక్చర్స్ లోనే విన్నాను, ఎవరిని వాళ్ళు పెళ్లి చేసుకోరు కదా అన్నది. బట్ దట్స్ ఎ వెరీ బిగ్ ఆన్సర్ అండ్ ఎ వెరీ బిగ్ క్వశ్చన్.
అంటే ఒక లెక్చర్ లో విన్నాను పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నారు కానీ ఎవరికి తెలియదు ఏంటంటే మనకి బ్రహ్మ విమోహన్ లీల అవుతుంది కదా,
గాంధర్వ వివాహం ఏదో చేసుకున్నారని విన్నాము.
బ్రహ్మ విమోహన్ లీల
వేరే పెళ్లి అవుతుంది, రాధారాణికి వేరే పెళ్లి అయితే అవుతుంది
అభిమన్యుతో మాతాజీ.
అభిమన్యుతోని పెళ్లి అవుతుంది కదా మాతాజీ.
అంటే మీరు మళ్ళీ కన్ఫ్యూజ్ అవుతారు.
మహాభారతంలో కాదు మాతాజీ, వేరే
వేరే వేరే అభిమన్యు.
అతను పోయిన జన్మలో ఒక తపస్సు చేస్తాడు, చేసి రాధారాణిని పెళ్లి చేసుకోవాలని చెప్పి కోరికతో తపస్సు చేస్తాడు. సో గాడ్ హ్యాస్ టు గివ్ దట్ డిజైర్. ఇచ్చి ఏం చేస్తాడంటే అతన్ని కొన్ని పెళ్ళైతే అవుతుంది కానీ సర్టెన్ డిఫెక్ట్స్ తో పుట్టిస్తాడు అతన్ని. సో జస్ట్ పెళ్లి అవుతుంది వాళ్ళిద్దరికి. అది స్టోరీ. దట్స్ బిగ్ స్టోరీ అమ్మ, సపరేట్. నెక్స్ట్ బృందా, అన్మ్యూట్ చేసుకోము నువ్వు. వినపట్లేదమ్మా. నువ్వు ఆ స్పీకర్ లాగేసి వినపడుద్ది, కింద ఫోన్ కి కనెక్షన్ దగ్గర ఏది సరిగ్గా ఉండదు, వినపట్లేదు. నువ్వు అన్మ్యూటే ఉన్నావు కానీ వినపట్లా. బృందా.
మాతాజీ కృష్ణుడు ఏ కలర్ లో ఉంటారు మాతాజీ?
నీల మేఘం వానబడే ముందు మబ్బు ఏ రంగులో ఉంటుంది?
బ్లాక్.
అది
ఎందుకు మాతాజీ?
కృష్ణుడికి ఆ రంగు అంటే ఇష్టం.
పీకాక్ కూడా అదే రంగులో ఉంటుందని
దగ్గర రంగు. పీకాక్ అడిగావు, బట్ పీకాక్ పెట్టుకోవడానికి కృష్ణుడు ఎట్లా బ్రహ్మచారో, కృష్ణుడు బ్రహ్మచారి, పీకాక్ కూడా సిమిలర్ ఇది, అందుకనే పీకాక్ పెట్టుకుంటాడని ఒక స్టోరీ ఉంది. సరే నెక్స్ట్ ఇంకా క్లోజ్ చేద్దామా బృందా? అయితే బృందా రీజాయిన్ అనుష. ఎవరు బృందా పంపించాలి? అది సేమ్ వీడియోనా పోస్ట్ చేస్తానమ్మా. ఐ విల్ పోస్ట్ ఇట్ అగైన్ ఇన్ ద గ్రూప్. రైట్.
మాతాజీ మీడియాలో ఉంటుంది మాతాజీ.
మీడియాలో ఉంటుంది, ఒకవేళ డిలీట్ అయిపోయిందేమో అని పెడతానంట.
దగ్గర అయితే ఉంది మాతాజీ.
ఉంది, ఎవరికైనా డిలీట్ అయిపోయింది. ఓకే, ఐ విల్ పోస్ట్ అమ్మా, నథింగ్ రాంగ్ కదా. మొన్నాళ్ళు మళ్ళీ డిలీట్ చేసేసుకోండి.
మాతాజీ బృందా రైట్ హ్యాండ్ చేస్తుంది మాతాజీ.
బృందా రైట్ హ్యాండ్ చేస్తుంది, మాట్లాడదు. నేనేం చేయను.
లేదు మాతాజీ, మళ్ళీ రీజాయిన్ అయింది
అయినా రావట్లేదు.
మాతాజీ వినబడుతుందా ఇప్పుడు?
వినపడుతుంది.
మాతాజీ కృష్ణుడు భగవద్గీత ఎందుకు అర్జునుడికే ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశాడు, యుధిష్ఠిరుడికి కూడా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేయొచ్చు కదా, ఎందుకు?
అక్కడ యుద్ధం అది మనం అక్కడికి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు భగవద్గీత చెప్పుకున్నప్పుడు చెప్పుకుందాము. ఒకటి అర్జునుడు ఎందుకంటే అర్జునుడు ఈజ్ ద గ్రేటెస్ట్ డివోటీ ఆఫ్ కృష్ణ. మనం గురువు గురించి చెప్పుకున్నప్పుడు ఏం చెప్పుకున్నాము? we should have 100 feet on అర్జున. ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే ఇంకొక శ్లోకం కూడా భగవద్గీతలో నేర్చుకున్నాం. ఎవరైతే గొప్ప వాళ్ళు ఏమి ఫాలో అయితే అదర్స్ ఆల్సో విల్ ఫాలో ద సేమ్ అని. సో అర్జునుడు కనుక ఇఫ్ అర్జున యాక్సెప్ట్స్ వాట్ ఎవర్ కృష్ణ సేస్ దెన్ అదర్స్ ఆల్సో విల్ యాక్సెప్ట్. అర్జున ఆ రోజుల్లో హీఈస్ ది హీమ్యాన్, హీఈస్ ద గ్రేటెస్ట్ పర్సనాలిటీ.
మాతాజీ దీనికి కూడా ఒక స్టోరీ ఉంది మహాభారతంలో మాతాజీ.
చాలా టైం అవుతుంది చూసుకోండి. దానికి కూడా story లు ఉన్నాయి చాలా.
అయితే మాతాజీ నేను ఫైట్ చేయడానికి అవ్వదు అని కృష్ణునితో చెప్తుంటే అప్పుడు కృష్ణుడు భగవద్గీతను ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేసి వారికి పంపిస్తారు.
అది బృందా డౌట్ ఏంటంటే ఆ సీన్ అర్జున్ యుద్ధం చేయను అని యుధిష్ఠిరుడు కూడా అనొచ్చు కదా అని బృందా డౌట్. అది అంటే ఏంటంటే గ్రేటెస్ట్ వాళ్ళు ఏం చేస్తే దానికి విలువ ఎక్కువ. సో అర్జున ఇస్ వార్ చేయడానికి అర్జున ఇస్ ద గ్రేటెస్ట్. అందుకని అర్జునుడితో అట్లా చేశాడని అనుకోవచ్చు మనం. హర్షిత్ డౌట్ నాన్న?
మాతాజీ మీరు అన్నారు కదా ఒకసారి అదే ఎవరైతే పెద్దవాళ్ళు చేస్తారో అది ఇచ్చిన వాళ్ళు అది యద్యదాచరతి
అదే శ్లోకం నాన్న.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, right. Tomorrow class at 4 o'clock, 4 p.m.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, right. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
రేపు యామిని చెప్తాను అందు ప్రేయర్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకొని చెప్పమ్మా యామిని.
Okay, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.